so good.
I like it though. Paul, he said I should play this for you, so I hope you appreciate it. I don't know it, but I dig it.
It speaks to my soul.
Makes you want to play the piano.
It makes me want to sing. I won't do that.
The Surfers. I feel like I've heard of the Surfers. I just don't know that song.
It's the Suffers. It's the Suffers.
Oh, the Suffers. Oh, the Suffers. That sounds like a sad. Nobody wants to suffer. That sounds like a sad name. I'm sad now. I'm sad.
It kind of does. Oh, there's another me in the background. It's. I can hear me echoing.
I only hear you one time, so you might have feedback on your own. Maybe, I don't know, adjust your microphone. You're echoing in your own head. You know what I think it is? It's just the voices, Jessie. It's just the voices.
Oh, thank you. Forget.
Yeah, we've talked about this, Jessie.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning on a Wednesday.
I know. Wednesday is my second favorite day of the week.
What's your first favorite? Let me guess.
Thank you so much for asking. Great question.
It's Monday, isn't it? You're a Monday person. Yeah, you're a Monday person.
It is Monday. Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, absolutely not. You go. Absolutely.
I wasn't going to really say anything of value. But I was going to say that I don't really know what day it is. I haven't known really what day it is all year, like all last year at least.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Into the next, goes into the next. And when you know what I mean?
You're in your
when
basement,
you're a real estate
right?
agent. Why am I cutting out again?
You are. No, you are cutting out again, but you working where you live. That's why
you're asking if I was in my basement because my internet was
your internet
funky.
stinks. Yeah.
Sometimes it's great and sometimes it's not so great. But hopefully you guys can hear me, and you don't really need me anyway. I don't really. But anyway, listen. So I want to. Oh, leave it to Karen Prawl, who's not even our host anymore, texting me. You're cutting out, Karen.
Karen, thank you, Karen.
Let me run the show, Karen. You couldn't do it anymore. Let me run the show, you backseat producer.
She's like, neither can you.
Holy moly. Okay. If you're awake, then why couldn't you still do the show? Okay. Anyway.
Seriously. Where are you?
Seriously. But I want to talk about a couple things because, I lately I've been getting maybe not irritated. I don't think I've been getting irritated because I don't want to seem like I'm irritated. You know how all these so-called experts or these gurus are like telling you what you need to be doing to be successful. Like you got to get up at 3 a.m. You have to read this book and you have to listen to that podcast and you have to do this or else you're not going to be successful. So yesterday when I told you I'll talk about the anti-guru, that's my new initiative, the anti-guru. Right on.
So I'm so excited to hear about this because I think I know what that is and what that means. But based off of just that description you gave me, I'm super excited because those people are crushing my soul. I think they're hurting my brain.
Well, yeah. I mean, the thing is let's think of one of them. My first 3 anti-guru posts that I made. One was about the 5 a.m. club, right? I think I talked about that kind of inadvertently last time. The other one was about, let me just double check, make sure. See, I'm forgetting what my anti-guru posts were about. That's how much of a morning person I am not. My second anti-guru post was, talking about everyone says don't watch Netflix, right? Turn off the TV, don't watch Netflix, always wear a suit, only read books about business. And I'm like, I'm going to watch Netflix. Last night I binged 3 episodes of that new show, Them, on Amazon, which is unbelievable.
It's in the queue.
Unbelievable. Just be aware, Jessie, it's very hard to swallow.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. I don't read leadership books anymore. I only read fiction. And I feel like I've always gone against the grain in some way, shape, or form, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I think you just have to find your own groove.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's one right way if you're getting it done and doing what you need to do and living the life you want to live. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. So this is kind of a sacred echo that's happening. We were talking about this with Jack Hawthorne yesterday a little bit. He's like, he doesn't read leadership books anymore. He started to repeat. It started to repeat. He's like, okay, I get it.
Exactly. That's why I don't read them anymore.
Yeah. It's like, I think I get it. Like, give me a new concept all day. And also I read a book or two a week. And I get the feeling that like, I'm not doing enough.
Right. That's the feeling I was getting. And I'm like, I don't want to feel like this anymore. Right.
No.
Like I don't need a book yelling at me, telling me I'm not getting enough done. Right.
I'm going to read a fiction book.
Well, so by the way, I don't think there's anything wrong with I think it's important to read leadership and business books. I just think like the problem is we read too many and then we don't do anything. We don't take any action because then we're confused in which direction to take because everyone's telling us to do something different. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
In one of those books, the one thing, it's like,
the one thing,
you can't do all that.
Yeah, there you go. That's like my favorite business book. Mm-hmm. And my other one was kind of a funny one yesterday where I was like, listen, I've spent the last 525,600 minutes with my kids. I'm allowed to be annoyed by them. It doesn't mean I don't love them. So stop telling me to cherish every moment because I'm going to miss it by the time I know that they're going to grow up. You know what I mean? I
can't hear that number without the song in my head.
That's why I said it.
I can't not hear it.
Listen, I love my kids, but they're annoying me now. Like, I'm glad
that's a cool thing.
Like
that's
I have to go upstairs.
We can say that about our kids.
Yeah, like sometimes I have to go upstairs because I think my wife put them up for adoption at some point. That's why. But anyway, but you said you're you're rereading Atomic Habits, right?
Yeah, I am. So something, and a business, not leadership, but a business, obviously better habit book. But this is what popped out at me, and that positivity is purposeful. And negativity is natural. So the Atomic Habits book, it talks about making a 1% improvement every single day, regardless of what habit it is you're trying to create in your life. And that makes a lot of sense to me. So like, let's say, we're talking to our agents. They have an attitude about the phone. They have a negativity, but they're not lead generating. Okay. Right. Let's say they're just in a thing. They're in a funk. And they're, all you got to do you just got to do it for 10 minutes, right? And then 1%, 11 minutes, and then, 12.1 minutes, right? The next day. So 1% improvements exponentially over time. But we naturally have 1% non-improvements. We tend to go that way, and that's spiraling out of control. And so having to be going from EDP, entrepreneurial, to purposeful in order to have positive results. Like you have to be intentional about it. And it just brought me back there. And I'm like, okay, I'm cool with whatever it is decide to work on today, just doing it a little bit better. Yeah. I'm cool with that. I'm excited about it.
No, that's cool.
I'm more excited about my new toy.
What is it? Tell me, what is it? What'd you get?
I haven't really bought it yet. I haven't bought it yet.
You haven't bought it yet. What is
it? I'm going to manifest it like it's mine. I'm already closing this deal in my mind.
Is it a slingshot?
It's a one wheel. Have you heard of this?
Yes.
Oh,
you're insane.
I just want to go fast and have fun. That's all I want. That's all I want in my life.
Can we make t-shirts of that? Mm-hmm. Go fast and have fun.
Yeah,
that is a great.
When we bring in Paul, his big thing, like he's a huge Brene Brown fan, and so in everything he does, his rule is got to be awkward, brave, and kind. Mine is fast, fun, and got to be correct. Also, it's just kind of my thing. Fast, fun, and correct. And so this one wheel, it looks like it's a skateboard. It looks like a skateboard.
It's like a giant rubber tire.
Yes, and in the middle of it, and so you're standing here, and the tire's like in the middle, in between your 2 feet. And the good one, it'll cost you like $2,000, but the good one, it'll go like 22. And the guy that I saw last night on it, he's like, no, just lean forward, it'll go 30. On a skateboard.
Jessie, You can't even stay on your scooter with 2 feet.
I can now.
With 2 wheels.
I know. I can now. I'm doing good.
What does your husband think about you wanting all these plug-in toys that throw you off cliffs?
I've signed more life insurance changes since I've gotten my scooter in than I have in my whole adult life. That's not a joke. I'm insured. So you're frozen. So I'm just going to talk while you're frozen. Can I ask you a question about comic books and then maybe you'll unfreeze? Oh no. Listen, I have no problem with talking to myself. So I have absolutely no problem with it whatsoever. I also don't have the controls to be able to bring in Paul, which is what I would do. So I'm not talking to myself. I think you're coming back. No, you're not. All right. So I'm going to talk. Paul, I wish I could bring you in. So I'm not going to have a conversation with you. I'm going to have a conversation at you until maybe Nick comes back. Until maybe he comes back.
I'm
There he is.
I'm back. I'm back.
Did you hear me say that I have absolutely no problem with talking to myself for 45 minutes?
No, I'm back.
I really don't.
I did hear, but without further ado, let's bring him on. Hey, Paul.
Hey.
Hi, Paul.
Sorry.
Happy hump day.
I'm
Happy
gonna
hump day to you.
not attempt to say your last name. Stoltzfus.
It's Stoltzfus, suckers. Stoltzfus.
Stoltzfus suckers?
Yep, there you go.
Okay,
sassafras. Just go with sassafras.
Leave
That's
off
a
the
much
last
better
S
drink.
for suckers. Oh, I said Paul Sassafras last time.
Yep, go with that. Go with that. 100%.
Everybody, welcome Paul Sassafras.
Welcome. It's so good to see you. So Paul, did you catch the song?
Tell everyone who you are.
I did. So I'm Paul Stoltzfus. I am a dream catcher, kind of, but mostly I tell people you do you boo, because that's what my 8-year-old tells me. And in consulting appointments, I actually tell them you do you boo. So I'm the you do boo dude. Because all the
you do you boo. Oh, we have 2 t-shirts. We have 2 t-shirts we're gonna make today. You do you boo and go fast. What is it? Go fast and have fun.
I just want to go fast and have fun.
Yeah, all those toys. I feel like we're much better teacher with toys. Because like guns, we need toys to teach because we need to teach at the speed people hear.
I have my
That
Nerf
is
gun
true.
here
So you
somewhere.
think we should be having our 2 appointments on Segways or one wheel?
Well, that's a good segue. I think you need to do whatever helps people listen and self-discover what they need to do. So whatever it takes. That's why toys are so helpful. You get them to a different conversation because when you go back to when you were kids, you can kind of discover like you were when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Because really, a consultation is like being in the sandbox of your business. So get out of your head into the sandbox.
If you use Superman or Batman or Spider-Man in when you're talking to me in any way, shape, or form, I'll listen, as you can see behind me. I didn't get into my comic book topic this morning, Jessie. I'll save that for Friday. That's a good one.
Put a pin in that.
Yeah.
So
Paul, tell us who you are.
Okay, so I'm Paul Stoltzfus, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Amish country. So if I don't get your pop culture references, that's why. I didn't have TV till I was like mid-20s, 30. So that's
really?
why I can truly be awkward, brave, and kind, and I love it.
Were you Amish?
My parents were Amish.
No way.
Yep, my first language was Pennsylvania Dutch. I could not read till I was in the 2nd grade. My early education was really poor, and I had to do a lot of stuff on my own. Not gonna lie.
This is so cool. This is all like that. I've 1,001 questions, and I need to start by saying, "Dang it, Paul! If I catch you watching TV again, I'm going to burn your barn."
No, I watch TV now. I mean, like Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
changed my world, and now it's Yellowstone because that's the Cowboys Game of Thrones. I'm catching up. I'm a late bloomer, but I'm telling you, binging.
What was the transition? Like so you're not living that life anymore. Like when and how and where and
hold on a second. Such a cool thing. You're getting way ahead of us.
All right, let me speak at the speed you can hear.
I'm not frozen. I'm just completely amazed.
In shock,
I have one question for Paul, and then Jessie, you can ask whatever you want. Yeah. Are you really good at like building like chest of drawers and coffee tables, or is that?
Yes, I'm really good with my hands, and I can make things happen. I'm like the potter of whatever I do. I can make raised cabinet doors. I grow badass grass. I'm a soil guy. Like I learn from the earth, and everything I do comes out of creating environments. Like we are creators. We speak it into existence. So when I hear be, do, have, I'm like, yes, I can be God, and so can everybody else.
Wow.
Dude, you're
I
like
was
the
just
best.
gonna ask.
Like,
I
go
was
ahead.
just going to ask about pretzel dough. Like, do you?
Oh yeah,
you,
I did pretzels too and spin them. I did pizzas. I can spin them on top of my head, catch them, and there's your pizza.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so how
Wow.
old were you when you kind of transitioned away from living that life
Okay.
into?
So
TV life?
my
Wait,
parents.
before that question though, you have to ask the first question. No, because you have to go in succession.
Okay.
Right. It's about steps.
The first question is when you. No, that's a good first question. Then the second question
Thank
is Jesse's question is great. Then my next question would be after you answer Jesse's question is when you how did you leave? Because I thought you're shunned or something when you leave the Amish, or were you not Amish and your parents were? Yeah. So
I have to tell you, to just interject here, I always wanted to be on this show because of Karen Prawl, and she's not here, so I'm a little bit sad. But you just really brought me back because you helped me feel seen and heard so much that now I actually like you better than I thought I was going to like Karen. Or Corinne.
Oh,
are you talking to Jessie or me?
Corinne. But Jessie, I always like Jessie.
Oh, you're talking to me.
Nick, I'm talking to you, Nick. I really like
Nick,
you right now. You're
not ever the draw here. Sorry, it was Karen.
But no, right now that you're asking these questions, I feel so seen and heard that I love you.
Oh,
so thank you.
I think that your story is incredible. Like, how do we not know this? I mean, maybe people do, but maybe I just don't know you well enough. Like, you know what I mean? But anyway, I appreciate that. It was great, right? How did you transition? Was that what it was, Jeff?
Yeah. So the way I transitioned is when I was in my mommy's belly, I made such a ruckus that they decided they have to leave the Amish. So while my mom was pregnant, they decided to leave the Amish. And so I didn't have to make that transition. But I'll tell you, I think they had the courage to leave because their parents were open-minded. They were Amish, right? So both grandpas are very good storytellers. I'm not like my mom and dad, but I'm like my grandpas. Half of what we say is true. The other half isn't. You never know which half we're on. But you leave the conversation having a blown mind and you can absorb more other information. We don't really teach you anything. We just explode your mind and then you go learn the things.
That's such a beautiful way to describe what I would call self-discovery, right? Like when we're coaching people. Would you say it's similar?
Yeah. So as a soil scientist, I'm jumping around, right? As a soil scientist, all I do is open the soil so the soil can receive nutrients and grow the things. The soil scientist doesn't make shit grow. Plants grow between dirt. So as a conversationalist, I help expand your mind. So whatever you put in there next is going to actually take hold and grow, right? So back to the Amish. My parents left the Amish. I was conservative Mennonite, which is kind of like one step away. And then I left that because I'm a rebel. I heard the Bible being taught at church and I was like, I'm going to read this too. And I read the Bible 3 times. I was like, wait a minute. The list of rules they set up is not what's in the Bible. Someone's making this stuff up. So I left because I actually believe in God and the universe. I just don't believe in the God and the universe that they taught us, right? I love God, family, business. And I also study Buddhism. I study like all the things because we're all humans. It's just like people that jump and shout, I don't believe them because they don't actually have truth. If it's not something that's true and stands alone, you have to jump and shout, pound on the pulpit, right? So Mennonite, I left the Mennonites, mid-20s. I ended up leaving even the fundamental Christian world because I was like, hey, this is a little wonky. And so then I was kind of astray for a while. And then I kind of came back because I was like, God, if you're for real, you got to find me. Just like my 8-year-old runs and hides at Target and I come find her. She just wanted to be found by her daddy. And I was like, I'm going to do that.
Oh,
and that's
kind of a beautiful story.
Right. And that's kind of how I found the team leader role. I was like, what's the next opportunity for me? You got to show up by Christmas.
I've got to know, what did you do before?
I was just a realtor, part-time, 2016.
And then before real estate?
I had a lawn care company called Wise Grass. We grow badass grass and smoke the weeds.
I love it.
Great
Yeah.
job.
Good thing your
Great
parents left. Good thing your parents left. They couldn't be Amish with that type of business.
No.
I just want to say that when my 8-year-old runs and hides in Target, I go, Levi, get back here right now. But you're like going to find him. So maybe I should go find him.
Yeah.
Well, half the time I'm like, thank you. Just like now my teenagers, I wish they would go and hide sometimes. But then I have 4 kids. The more I let them be independent, the more they come back and are interdependent. That's also the thing I learned about my kids.
Wow.
Interdependent. I love that. It's a beautiful marriage, right? And so it's the best relationships are I do better if you do better and vice versa. Right.
That's incredible, dude. Hey, I just want to say, like, when because you're a team leader, right? So you must be having, these conversations that you're having with these, with your current agents and with new recruits. Bringing up, your family background can be really powerful in those conversations, I would assume.
I don't.
You don't bring it up.
No, it's not about me. It's about them. I asked them about their background.
No, I know, but like sometimes, no, I understand that, but I'm saying like sometimes it's good to like sometimes if you're talking to a recruiter, you're talking to an agent, and they're feeling like they can't do something or they have excuses till the end of the world, using your success as an example or the roadblocks that you had in your life to kind of relate to them can sometimes help them see a bigger picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Like I had so many roadblocks in my life and I had so many advantages both.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing that everybody has those.
I heard something this morning, Paul, getting ready that made me think about you. We've talked about this podcast. It was I finished listening to the Brene Brown podcast where she had Pippa Grange is her name. Did you listen to it?
Yes, that's my new jam. That's on my Facebook profile right now.
Oh, I love this. So Pippa said, and it instantly made me think of you. I said, "This is Paul." She said, "I'm not going to get it perfect," but she said something like, "You don't have to choose between wholeheartedness, kindness, wholeness, or winning. You don't have to choose between the two. And the bridge to get there is vulnerability."
That's what I have on my freaking profile.
Minute 50. Shut up. Stop.
Yes.
I
That's
swear
what
I didn't know that.
Yes. Look it up right now. The quote's right there. If you ever miss the quote, it's there. It's so true. I want to win so bad. Read the quote. Find out my profile and read it.
Yeah.
Can you get to it?
I'm on it right now.
So Nick, here's the thing. You actually caught my attention when you talked about mental health.
Yeah.
I have a fidget spinner in my office.
Oh yeah.
But my family, we never knew we had mental health issues. COVID brought that all up. We actually lost my sister to that last summer.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Sorry.
That experience taught us so much. That to be awkward, brave, and kind is not just a phrase.
Mm.
Like life F's you up. And when you slow down, actually feel it. Mm-hmm. I've always pushed that stuff out. But through last year, like you can't. When it's that big, it just... And coming out of that, I don't know if I'll ever come out of it. But there's a part of me that forever wants to keep people from ever having to feel that pain.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But when you slow down and realize that almost half the people that you see in your world are actually experiencing that pain, like that's the truth. I felt that myself and didn't know if it was worth going on, right? I mean, the team leader roles chews you up, but you show up again.
Oh my gosh,
right.
Yeah.
Right? Yet feeling that and being honest with it, Robin Williams is my favorite person in the whole world.
Oh, yeah.
He taught me that, he's always happy and fun, but yet on the other side of him, we knew there was a lot that we didn't know.
So much pain.
But now that I know that, I realize it's okay, Paul, to be who you are and to feel what you feel, but you still show up.
Right.
And you still do the things.
Yeah.
Can I get it? Can I get this right?
Yeah.
The quote. Go ahead.
And it's right here.
Yep.
You don't have to choose between being wholehearted, loving, kind, soulful, or winning. You can do both, but the bridge you got to cross over is vulnerability. That's Dr. Pippa Grange. That's awesome.
Yeah,
and I said this is Paul. Maybe I subconsciously thought, and I want to sit with that. That was heavy, right? was heavy. I didn't know that you lost your sister to COVID, and so I'm
Well, it
so
wasn't the
sorry to
COVID.
hear that.
Actually, COVID, she was OCD and that she couldn't handle that world.
Okay.
Oh
She
yeah.
ended up taking her life, and
I'm
that
sorry.
Okay. Got
right.
it.
And you know, I can talk about it now, but the
Yeah.
reality is like that's kind of the swirling world that pushed her to the edge. This awkward, brave, and kind thing. What I love about that and the Pippa Grange thing is when we show up with our humanity, being vulnerable, the antidote to depression is creativity. So the reason I actually do this kind of thing, this is a creative outlet, my friend.
Oh yeah.
I do this so I don't get depressed. I make videos so I don't get depressed. I have Marco Polo as the antidote to depression. Like it's my freaking sandbox. I'm not kidding you. So it's not just for me having fun and my ego. It's because this is how I don't spiral out and do bad things.
Can you tell me about jetpack? The meaning of jetpack to you?
So I read this book by Abby Wambach, right? And her wife, Glenna Doyle, they're like awesome.
Yeah.
And Brene Brown loves them. But for my leadership team, I was like, what's the book that gets us all together? And what's like a quick read that we can quick read? Wolfpack. And one chapter in there says, hey, give me the damn ball, let me score. So I want to have a leadership team that everyone at some time can say, give me the ball, let me score. But you got to then score, right? So my leadership team in my market center does this. And then I was like, you know what? I need a group of team leaders that kind of are this. And so I'm going to have a jetpack and I'm going to get together a group of team leaders that want to influence so big, we need a fleet of jets to get around. So that's my jetpack. And so I'm like, let me shoot high and get the best people in the world into it, like Jessie, Joey DiBendito. Like that name is so awesome. Jack Hawthorne, Kim, and then lowly me. I'm like, how do I fit in this group? And I was like, you know what? I do. I've got something, but not much, but I got something. And here we have our own little jetpack. It might be for a month. It might be for a year. I don't know. But this way to connect to like a handful of people is so amazing. If you're not doing it in your market center, start.
Oh, it so is. And one of the first conversations we get to have in that little group, Nick, was about, well, it was about better habits and diet. We were talking about, you know, food services, and they're going back and forth about these, I mean, amazing ideas. Like Paul, you're eating one healthy meal a day. And like that changed my mind, and all these different services for great vegan, organic food or whatever. As I'm listening, watching this conversation, I have like a venti, whatever it is, milkshake and a donut. And I'm like, I'm probably gonna have a Snickers for lunch too.
Makes you happy when you're eating it, but then afterwards you feel like a
Poop.
big bunch of mush.
And you're not doing it anymore, Paul, because you're running a marathon, right? How are you doing with that?
I am really struggling. Like it's on my 411.
Yeah.
And I have to get up early, do the thing, and eat the stuff. And so maybe I need some accountability. Like when I first ran a marathon, I had 3 coaches, a nutrition coach, a running coach, and a strength coach.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what got me to my first marathon. I went from 230 pounds. I used the be, do, have. So you got to be the person, which means I got to be a marathoner, do the work, and then get the result. So I was a marathoner on day one. I was like, I am a marathoner, even though I couldn't run from one telephone pole to the next.
Oh, wow.
But I started doing the work.
Why do you want to do it again?
Because I felt so good when I did the marathon. And it's like you have a goal. Done. It's not even about getting to the goal. You have this goal so you become a different person. I have to become a different person to run a marathon. So it's the person I become by running it. 100.
Running a marathon is a whole different mindset. Like that's a whole different ball game, man. Like obviously it pushes your body to the limit, but then I think it's like when you're done, it's a huge accomplishment. I just can't get my brain to the doing it, like the preparing for it type of thing. Like that just to me seems like something I can't get over thinking about. You know what I mean?
What can't you get over about it?
I just think running is just, the worst punishment on planet Earth.
It might be.
That's true. I actually ran. The reason I ran, I realized just in the last couple of months, is to punish myself, to beat myself into shape. That was like before my divorce or kind of in the early part. I was trying to beat myself into shape. After I split up, I didn't have to beat myself up anymore. And I stopped doing the running. So now I have to reset and do it from a place of love and self-care. And do you know how hard that is for me to switch that?
Yeah.
To do my workouts from a place of love and self-care. I haven't figured that out. I need help with that piece. Like, Help me, Jesse.
Like
help me.
I love to work out. I work out and I do cardiovascular exercise. I lift weights. I eat well, but I cannot run outside. Like I just cannot do it. Like first of all, there's also like I have sciatica. I have herniated discs in my lower back. So like all of that stuff obviously makes it much harder.
Yeah.
But you know, I used to be able to run like in my early 20s and late teens, early 20s. And then I, you know, got the back problems and the sciatica problems. And now I'm in my 40s. But I will tell you this, though, Paul. Last year during pandemic, when I started working out again for the first time seriously, and gosh, I don't know, like since I had my second kid, right? But I started to work out very consistently all summer. I lost almost 25 pounds. And I went from bench pressing like the bare minimum, like the bar, and then 220, like the 135, which is the bar, like the basic, you know, bar and 225. To 6 months later, I was benching 250 3 times.
Yes.
You know what I saw in that, Nick, and maybe this is it, Paul. It's we get addicted to progress. And so like when the scale, if it's the scale going down or it's the weight, the weights that you're lifting going up, that I think that's a reason why CrossFit is so powerful, is because they make you track it so well. And so, and the camaraderie, yes, but it's like that. I got to the next thing. I ran a little bit faster. I ran a little bit longer. And it's like, whoa, it's actually happening. Mm-hmm. It's just, and it's just like when somebody gets into real estate and it clicks and it's like, whoa, time on task over time. It really works. And now I love it.
That's in Atomic Habits, right? Is that where you're getting that little, like you have tiny little progress pieces? Nick,
the progress principle is, I don't know if
not over read Atomic Habits, but
I don't remember. I'm rereading it.
But I will agree with you, Jesse, in that all it takes is one number on the scale to go down for you to really get motivated. Like, and by the way, it can take a month or so, like, to see that results. All it takes is like, bench pressing 135 and then upping it to 140. That's all it takes. And then you're like, because I used to be a personal trainer. I went to school for exercise physiology. And when with exercise, it can take a couple months to see any sort of real results. And then the second you see the slightest change, you're just back in the game and motivated to keep going. Yeah.
And it's like when you get the compliments, you get a compliment too. Someone you care about notices, like, hey, I recognize your hard work there. You're looking good, man.
They go, hey, something you haven't seen in like 6 months. Like, whoa,
right?
I recognize you. Yeah.
Paul, that's actually a good point. And I actually think at a market center level, that's why recognition is so important. And not just once a year, but like all the little things. Like just like, who's it? Showing Time? Not Showing Time. Someone just sent out a bunch of awards, a national company. And I'm seeing it all over Facebook.
Yeah. Real producers.
Yeah. It's, which one is it here? Let me look up here. I'm looking at my Facebook feed.
There's a ton.
HomeSnap.
HomeSnap? What'd they send out?
Oh yeah.
It's like the 2020 excellent in client service. You had to have like a four-star Google review, and then you got
that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, but it's like these little incremental awards, almost more important than one at the end of the year. It's almost like the good mom versus bad mom. It's like the good mom versus gift mom. Like some moms are horrible all year, but then at Christmas they dump $5,000 worth of gifts on you. The other mom just like dinner every month. Here's a little gift. Good job, Paul. And then at Christmas, she might give you socks. But guess what? She blows your socks off with the daily interactions and see you, brother.
It was Jean Rivers. That told me. I'm accidentally messaging you right now, Paul. Sorry. It was Jean. Yeah, I think it was Jean Rivers that said this. Show me where you spend your time, and I'll tell you what your values are. And so if I value my kid and my husband and my family, I'm going to give them my time, even though my love language my love language is gifts. Like if I'm buying you a coffee, I love you. Right. Like, so that's how I speak. And I had to change a lot of that, but it's the good mom is giving her time, and the gift mom is, giving her gifts. And the more powerful version is, it sounds like time. So
right, and my takeaway is I don't like gifts. Like I like the hugs. I'm a physical touch and words of affirmation. So I had to kind of right.
Are you both?
Yeah.
Are you tied? Are you guys both tied on both?
So my dating
My wife
profile,
says-
I say words of affirmation because girls think that's dumb physical touch. Like he just wants whatever he wants.
Right. When guys say that,
every guy's love language is physical touch. What are you talking about?
But mine actually is.
I know. My wife says so. Mine is where my wife says to the point where it's like, what do you need a marching band through our house?
Yep.
How many times do I have to tell you you're doing good at something that you should be doing anyway? You want me to tell you you're taking care of the kids and are really good? That's your job. You're a dad. I'm like, oh no, sorry.
I'm off the charts words, and it happened to overhear years ago. My husband say something like, "She's such a workhorse. She will work until she's dead tired, right? Until she just passes out." And I'm across the room hearing him say that to someone else, and I'm like, like that is I'm like high as a kite, right? Like that's so cool. So words, all three team leaders here, former team leader, but once team leader, always team leader.
Well, by the way, it's interesting that team leaders' love languages are words of affirmation because
we need
the market center, we're the last ones to get those.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like who tells us every day that we're doing an awesome job?
Oh man.
So last year at the end, we had an awards banquet and it was online. So at the very end, like they flipped the script on me. I was holding it and they like surprised me with MVP. I was like, what? And I was like, ah.
Oh, I was best dressed and I cried.
But I don't like to get blindsided by that, and I love it.
And yeah.
You know, Paul,
Wait,
I just want to go back. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you
No,
go.
absolutely not. No, I will not.
Okay, I'll go. Okay. I want to go back a little bit to the home snap thing because one thing you said that resonated with me was they gave out awards for agents who had a certain amount of reviews that were 4 stars and above in customer service. And like we see online, all of these agents, I mean, they're proud of their production. You should be, right? But why are we celebrating that? Like, why are we not celebrating the agents who have 100 5-star reviews from clients who say they're working with them?
That's a really good point.
Why are we celebrating the agents who sold 1,000 homes? But that means nothing if, like, I know a handful of mega teams, and I'm not going to name names, who are doing enormous business, but you go to their Yelp page or their Google page and their reviews are really crap. You know what I mean? Because it's about the volume and not the attention to the customer. And that just bothers me, man, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, and I love that. And because I saw that, and so I was like, you know what, our Tuesday sales meeting, I'm gonna turn that into Ubuntu Tuesday. Like Ubuntu is that African word, I am because we are. And so I interview a company that has, and I talk about how you built your team, but how you specifically impact your own team and your community. Yeah. And it all of a sudden changes the dynamic of that conversation. Next month, we're going to have Sarah Dykema from California. And she's going to talk about how she created an all-women's group. By the way, you should have her on here as a guest. Okay. And she built her business by design to help moms. And that's like, for instance, Leverage, they hired a babysitter instead of a transaction coordinator.
Oh, my God. Oh.
They were a mega camper family reunion, I want to say.
God. Yeah. I probably mispronounced her name. Now, don't quote me on the babysitter thing, but it was something she hired something for her group. Something like maybe a preschool teacher. But the point was talking about a life by design.
Oh, wait, no, we're talking about a mega team. So it's probably a small human coordinator.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And that's the other thing. Language matters. Why do we have these sterile words like TL, MCA, Dofi? Come on.
What are you?
Dofi's the worst.
What would be your title, your new title?
Dofi sounds like someone's making fun of me. You're
maybe
a Dofi, Paul.
Me, I'm a Dofi. I'm like a swimming around.
So
I don't know what I am. So I learned in lawn care to don't name yourself, let your people name you. So my company started out as Wisegrass, the art of lawn care.
Oh, that's beautiful.
But then I was at a Chamber of Commerce meeting and people said, well, but what do you do? And I was like, I don't know. So I said, come on, Paul, what do you do? And I was like, I don't know. We grow badass grass and smoke the weeds. All of a sudden, 6 people around me turned their heads and like, what did you just say? And right there, the community named what I did. So instead of me naming what we do here at Keller Williams Elite, over time, something will pop up and a word will pop out. In the meantime, I just do the things, help people, and something will pop up. Someone will name me, maybe Paul Sassafras. Like that's how magic happens.
Yeah. what pops out in my mind is I love games. I love games. And
Yes.
so whenever we can play games, that's my favorite thing. And it's about more than competition. It's competition and fun, I guess.
Competition,
and so,
Jessie.
Family Feud and Wheel of Fortune pops out all the time. And so like I don't believe, I hope that our agents would name us if we had if we had a perfect mission statement, like a daily changing mission statement, it would say family and fortune. And that's what we are. Like that's what we are here. So what would your title be? And then what would your market center statement or mission statement be?
So when I took my photo shoot just last week, I walked in and the guy's like, "Hey dude, what are we doing here? Like, what's this picture supposed to do?" And I said, "Well, 2 years ago, it was about lawn care. And you took one picture about transferring confidence that Paul can grow your grass. Fun and jolly, right?" And then the other took a very soulful picture. I said, "Today, I'm walking in here in a different job. I need to help transfer that I'm approachable, but I can help people become millionaires." And he saw my jacket and it's like, this is a Western jacket, you know? I get it from Cavender's because I'm a cowboy at heart. And he's like, "Oh, so you're a millionaire wrangler?" And I was like, "Okay." So I was like, "No, I'm a billionaire because I make millionaire babies." And so there's something in there.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, I am nowhere close to a millionaire or a billionaire or $250,000 heir, whatever the heirs are. I just am growing things. And on the wall, I have a picture of a couple bulbs and a tulip that comes out. Right now, I'm just building the soil and the environment, and who knows what'll come out of it. But I'm growing growers all day long, every day. And those growers are habits. Like there's good and bad people, but it's only the habits of people that make it happen.
Well, that's Johanna's name for herself. Her clients
Joe
call
Mama.
her Joe Mama.
She's
Hey, she'll be on Friday. Hey, Paul, I just want to say that, first of all, the second you popped up on this show, I knew I was going to like you because you're wearing a T-shirt with a blazer over it. So those are my people right there.
Well, and you gave me the permission to do this when you were a team leader and rocking this on stage at Family Reunion.
Listen, dude. Oh, my God. First of all, that is the highest compliment I've ever gotten. Because first of all, I am so adamant about dressing comfortably. As long as you're presentable, dress comfortably, like own it. If I'm in a jacket in the car, if I'm in a suit, I look uncomfortable and awkward. But if I have a nice blazer with a good T-shirt that's obviously Ann Baldwin approved, and I have a nice pair of jeans that are ironed, and I have clean sneakers, right? Like that's how I look good and comfortable. And people see me and they don't think that guy is unprofessional because I'm presenting myself well. It doesn't matter if you're wearing flip-flops. If you're presenting yourself well in flip-flops, people will take you seriously. Now, you can't just walk around with looking like a slob. You have to look put together, but you can still do that wearing anything. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's because you'll show up better when you're comfortable. And really what's happening is the voice transfers so much. Like Clubhouse is so popular because it's a voice app. Yeah. By the way, video isn't like people say video is the coolest thing in real estate. Yes, it's video. It's because the video carries voice. Voice is what actually moves the heart.
100%. 100%. That's why. So I think, most people are not comfortable on video. And if you see someone on video and they look uncomfortable, their voice is not going to resonate in a trustworthy.
Their voice totally changes. Changes. Yeah. It's so cool.
I think that's why Clubhouse is so appealing because you can sound it's that one step closer to video. It's kind of public speaking, right? Because you'll be in rooms with hundreds of people, right? They can't see you, so you feel a little bit better about it. And then transitioning to video, is baby steps.
Can I ask you a football question?
Yeah.
So Paul blew my mind, and Nick, I don't know if you know that. I don't know if this is a thing, a KW thing, or if it's a Paul thing, but it's genius. So you're doing Around the Tech consult, right? Will you go over that? Will you go over that with us? How you do it? It blew my mind, and I need to learn it.
So I'm a visual learner. I'm a slow learner. Like I need pictures, and I like to co-create. So I teach how I learn. So I don't know who this connects with, but I teach at the speed people hear. And what I know is when I'm drawing, my anxiety disappears. And so I communicate better. So Jason Abrams has a tech audits. When he had the videos of the tech audits, I was like, oh, I can do that. Like, I'm not good at regurgitating scripts and NLP, but I can draw and talk. So the tech audit combined with the consumer experience.
Yeah.
And then the middle is a 33 touch system. The 33 touch is so sterile. I'm like, what the heck is this?
Right.
So I accidentally fell in this by doing a tech audit on Zoom. Do I have like 3 minutes to draw this out?
You got like 5-10 minutes.
Okay. So on the top, we have the tech audit, right? We have like lead gen, follow up, and contract to close, right? I don't know how well you can see that, but just
we can see it great.
And then we ask the person,
let me do this.
This is your 105 Dalmatian checklist, right? This is the contract to close. And I ask them all about the lead gen systems, the follow-up systems, right? And then I say, this is what we know.
Whoops. I'm trying to make you a bigger screen. There we go.
There we go. All right. So this is the tech audit with all of the answers to their questions. And then I say, this is what we know. The life cycle of a client over time, they buy and sell houses every 5 to 7 years. Here they buy a house. There's a heart here because we're happy. And NAR has told us that this person that just closed with you, they will probably buy from you in 5 to 7 years. 91% of the people, I think that's the latest result, say, yes, I will use my realtor. But only 1% of the people actually do 5 to 7 years later. What the heck happened? Well, here's the thing. If you just reach out to them once a year in the next 5 to 7 years, you'll probably get that deal. But the reason we actually reach out more is because we want referrals. That one person knows 100 people that could use our expertise, right? In the absence of strategy, any tactic sounds like a good idea. So what then is the strategy? The strategy is in every outreach is to create emotional proximity. Well, so then what should we do? How should we connect with people? And the answer is in the MREA, this is a 33 touch system, 4 phone calls, 26 emails, and 2 events. And if that were a football field, oh boy, this is little. If that were a football field, 2 phone calls, 26 emails, and 2 events, the mind of our customer is the football that we're trying to move across the field, right? And so every phone call, every email, every event is moving the mind of our customer slowly across the field. If we don't have a good ground game, IEA automated emails, we're over here at the beginning of the field trying to throw a Hail Mary to the other side because we need money by tax day. That's the most fantastic play in football. But guess what? Tom Brady didn't win a million Super Bowls throwing Hail Marys. He has one heck of a ground game, and he gets to the end zone. It's just an easy toss to the end zone. Bam! So every phone call, my friend, every event, and every email you have to ask, is it creating emotional proximity? I love your smart plans, Nick, because you create smart plans in a way that are very emotionally connecting. Anyone can press the button. Marty Miller presses the button. Jay Cermak loves the people. Nick Baldwin presses buttons and connects with people. So your smart plans are not spam plans. They're actually smart. And if you look inside of smart, there's an art in smart. And so anybody that comes to my market center and says, how do I do this? I say, Google Nick Baldwin, Facebook smart plan. And they see the progression of how you connect in a human way, but use technology to scale.
Well,
so
this is my love language, Paul. So thank you so much for all of the accolades. No,
I mean, really, we are both beholden to you, but so is everybody who's watching. Really,
I'm gonna watch that. I can't draw and talk, so I love that. I've never been that kind of guy. So I love that you can do that, and I'm gonna watch that part over again because the analogies were awesome, and it relates.
So good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I actually wonder what Gary Keller would say about that football analogy, or even anyone that's connecting, because I struggle with the football. Is it the mind of the customer, as in sleep pushes the ball back, or is the football our value proposition that we're moving across the field and our customer is actually receiving what we're tossing? So we have to get our customer open. So when we throw, they say, hey, I'm here.
The football, in my mind, the football's the dream. That's the dream. And the reception in the end zone, like that's your customer down there, right? And so we're just trying to add value. We're just trying to move the football down the field, and we're trying to get them to catch their own dream.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
I think so.
All right, good.
And like I get so in my own head, I don't know how this sounds on outside. So your feedback is so helpful. But I think it helps me understand how valuable the 33 touch system is. It's not just a list of homework, because then I ask myself, the phone calls, are they more human? Like, do they create emotional proximity? Every smart plan you create, Nick, does it actually create emotional proximity? Meaning me and my client are getting closer together. There's two ways to create proximity: get my client closer to me, or I can give up something about myself and I get closer to them. Get off my freaking pedestal, get down with the people, and be the people. Ubuntu Tuesday, I am because we are.
Oh, so good.
The
So
best.
good. I want it for my business. Now, I do want to, I want to ask you rapid fire questions because we know
I feel like a Brene Brown show.
I mean, oh, that's so great. Well, I know, I get your appreciation. And I love her. And so but before I do, can you tell me your definition? Because you're a leadership dude. You study it, you're in it, you love it. What's your definition of leadership?
Oh, influence from the heart.
Ooh, that's so good. Nick, I don't want to step on any other questions that you have.
You do the rapid fire.
Oh, that's so much fun. All right. I'm glad you caught the song too. I listened to it on the way in this morning, and that's Brene's song. All right. Are you ready?
Scared. Where's my fidget spinner?
I know. You can get it. Paul, dating after divorce is...
Oh my God. It's heart shredding. Like I have my own she shed. Not, please.
Heart shredding. I love it. Okay.
Actually, you know what? Here's the thing though. Dating is not about finding the best date. It's actually about me becoming the best date.
Oh, that's so much fun. What's something you are incredibly excited about right now?
My 8-year-old, school being over and she's back home and I get more time with her.
Oh, what is something you're deeply grateful for?
The opportunity actually to be a dad, like not just a dad, but a daddy.
That's great. What is one leadership lesson so good that you have to share it with us, or so terrible that you have to warn us about it?
Oh boy. Okay. Micromanaging kills creativity.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
However, in the 12-week year, they actually help you see that micromanaging sucks, but discipline, what's the word? Accountability is an internal job.
Yes.
And so somehow you have to figure out what your internal accountability is and make your bed.
That's the University of Austin Navy SEAL dude, right?
Yep.
What's the worst book you ever read, but you had to finish?
10X.
Oh, yeah. I'd put it on my list.
But then I read John Acuff's Finish, which is like if you're training for a marathon and you don't get there, do a half marathon. I was like, that's even worse.
Yeah.
So the next day, I automatically, in my Amazon thing, I found Willpower Doesn't Work. That is my jam. That put into words what I actually believe. You create environments and then things grow out of it.
What's something that people get wrong about you?
That I'm really smart.
Oh, I got that wrong then. I did.
Like I don't have a high IQ. I have an high EQ, maybe.
Yeah,
so
well,
good.
I think EQs right now are much more important.
Oh gosh, yes. Seriously. No other people. Those were the only questions that I had. I'm out.
Well,
done.
here,
You did
the
so good.
last two questions we have to ask. What books are you reading right now? Or one book?
This one, The Art of Community, The Art of Gathering. The Power Moments, I read that. That's really tactical. This one's more the heart.
Yeah.
And because I read the books to get me somewhere, I don't just read books for fun. Beginning of year is like, okay, what do I have to change this year? Then I read the books to answer that question.
Mm-hmm.
And what is your morning look? What's your morning look like? Do you have a
Shit
routine?
show.
Mine too.
But
Thank
so
you for
I
being-
like.
First of all,
Yeah,
thank you for being honest, because I have a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old, and my morning routine is whatever the heck they turn it into.
Yeah.
So I want to get up and walk into the sunrise. That's my best morning, and then do a little bit of journaling, a gratitude journal, and then primed mind. If I would do that every day, I would probably get 3 times as many appointments. So why don't I do it? Help
Why
me.
don't you do it?
Well, I think. Okay. Well, you have an 8-year-old who doesn't live at home. What is she?
But watch, they're not with me. I only have them on the weekend. So during the
Okay.
week, I'm solo and I still don't do the things. I have no excuses except my
Okay.
own. I'm fighting for my comfort. Real simple.
What
Instead
time
of
do you
my
go to bed?
position. So now you sound like my maps coach.
Because I stay up
Yeah,
late
what's
too.
the first thing?
It's been very hard for me to go to bed before midnight lately. I don't know why that is, but
I know if I take it back, my one thing is countertop 0. If I do my dishes by 8:30, I get to bed, get my sleep,
Countertop
wake up. Yeah.
Like
Well, so-
inbox 0, but I know exactly what you meant. Yes.
you want to know why? For me, I can't go to bed before midnight since the clocks went forward, because my kids go to bed later because it gets dark later, and then I have less time to myself and my wife, and so I feel like I need that. But my mornings just aren't organized because I have small children. But I think that there are. I think living by I don't know if you live by yourself or not, but you don't have children. You do. Okay. Living by yourself is also difficult because there's no one there to get your butt in gear in the morning.
Oh.
Or no one there to impress. I
And
don't
so
want to be
my-
a lazy person in front of my husband.
My why is to get my kids back 50-50. And that's why I show up even when my brain isn't working, the things aren't on track, I feel overweight, I drank too much. I still show up and have to do the things because I want my kids back so bad.
Yeah. I hear you, man.
So good. Paul's
I can
so
drop my kids
good.
off. I can drop my kids off at your place for a couple weeks if you want.
I play zone parenting. When kids are in your zone, you spank them. And when your kids are in mine, like you have to tell me the discipline that's allowed and I'll take care of it. Free range parenting.
I'm telling you, dude, the last 14, 15 months have been very, very interesting. So
That's kind.
But you know what? At the same time, I wouldn't take any of it back. That's the crazy thing,
I met so many cool people because we had to do this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Around
I
the
know more
country.
people.
Yes.
I love it. Well, listen, dude, I love that you were here. Very transparent. Lots of cool stuff that I found out. And, this conversation shows that. And by the way, before I say that, one of my main goals for 2020 is to connect with people that I didn't typically connect with before, or connect with people that I did and kind of stopped connecting with as much. And so I think that Command Your Morning came out of a pandemic. And so we are now able to have conversations like this. And I'm discovering things about people like, who would have known that you came from an Amish family? And that's so cool. Like in the sense that it shaped you, right? And this show is allowing me to get to know people, and I'm going through Facebook and I'm seeing people and I'm reaching out to them. I'm like, I've never spoken to this person and they're in my feed and I like them. I'm going to say hello. And I've been setting up calls, and I think it's really healthy to do that. Just touch base with one person
lives
every day.
that way.
Yeah,
really.
One person every day that you typically haven't before,
So good.
Yeah. Anyway.
I love you, Paul. You're awesome. You made my day.
Well, I always ask for referrals, and I'm not saying real estate referrals.
Got it. I gotcha.
Awesome, dude. Thanks for being here. It's been a fun show. Jessie, thank you for being my new co-host.
It's my pleasure. It's a lot of fun. Thank you.
On Friday with Johanna.
Joe Mama McRealtor.
Joe Mama McRealtor. Everyone have a great Wednesday. Go crush it.